What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another ranking. With the release of Avengers Infinity War that has come out this weekend, I'm going to be doing a bunch of MCU ranking videos because of that movie. If you guys didn't see a while back, I did a ranking of this very similar. I ranked all the heroes in the MCU. If you haven't seen that yet, definitely go check it out. But this time, I'm talking about the villains this time because let's be honest here, guys. I love the villains more than the heroes because the villains are just more interesting to me. I'm going to be ranking all the MCU villains from my least favorite to my favorite villain. The villains that aren't on my list are the Chitauri Army from the Avengers. I don't count them as the main villains, as well as Ben Kingsley's the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. They're not on my list. Those are just some ones to name off of. Just the main ones. But before we get started with my list, guys, let me know your list down below in the comments section. Let's talk about the villains, guys, and get excited for Infinity War. Coming in at number 22 on my list is Malekith from Thor the Dark World. I don't remember a single thing about this character at all, dialogue or any action sequences he had, except for that final battle with Thor at the end. But Malekith, his origin story is so boring. He's just such a bland villain. You learn nothing about him or his origin story. You don't find him intimidating at all. And the actor, Christopher Eccleston, he seems to be a pretty good actor, but the character he was given was just boring. Coming in at number 21 is another villain, Caecilius from Doctor Strange. This is another villain that is so forgettable. You had Mads Mikkelsen playing this character, and he's played a villain before in the James Bond franchise. This character could have been interesting, but they did nothing with him. He had all the other guys do his shit for him. He really did nothing for me to find him intimidating. But Mads Mikkelsen, he's a great actor, but Caecilius, he makes no impact on you at the end, and he's just a very bland villain. Coming in at number 20 is the Sovereign from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This consists of Elizabeth Debicka. She's the leader of the Sovereign. You find out why they become villains because the Guardians, Rocket in particular, stole batteries from them. That's why they're chasing them for sometimes in the movie. And they really dragged down Guardians Volume 2 for me. You could have completely taken them out of the movie and it wouldn't have changed nothing. And plus the end credit scene of them showing Adam Warlock, that's the main reason why they were involved in the movie. They didn't need to be in Guardians 2. Coming in at number 19 is Whiplash from Iron Man 2, played by Mickey Rourke. This villain, again, is just awful. I mean, he has no backstory at all. You're not really into his past at all. You really don't care that much. And Mickey Rourke, he's really trying with the character, but the way they take his character in the final act of him creating an Ironmonger looking suit like the first Iron Man movie and just making it into a mess. There's so much potential for this villain, but it's just wasted and you just don't give a shit about him. Coming in at number 18 is Aldrich Killian, played by Guy Pearce in Iron Man 3. Now, this villain is not terrible, he's just Guy Pearce is a great actor, he's great in Memento, but this character, he's been done before. He's very cliched, like Electro, like the Riddler. It's just his backstory you don't care about. Plus the stuff with the Extremis stuff I really didn't find necessary in the movie, and the way he dies is just so stupid. So Aldrich Killian, very meh villain. 17, I have Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy. This villain is just very wasted and forgettable. Many of the villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are totally bad and wasted. And this villain has been done before. He wants to gain control of Xandar and just burn it, and like Thanos, except just more dull. And this actor, again, is trying, but I just didn't find anything invested in Ronan at all. Coming in at number 16 is the Yellow Jacket from Ant-Man. Corey Stoll is a great actor, I will say that. And this villain had some cool sequences, especially the Thomas the Tank Engine scene. But really, he's just basically another version of Obadiah Stane, Jeff Bridges in Iron Man. Evil businessman who has a relationship with Hank Pym, but he becomes jealous because he can't try to figure out his formula and he wasn't told stuff. Then he becomes a villain at the end. Just a very mediocre, generic villain that we've seen before. Coming in at number 15 is a controversial villain. I have Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2, played by Sam Rockwell, an Academy Award winner. Sam Rockwell, fantastic actor. The character of Justin Hammer, I enjoyed some sequences about him, especially the scene where he's showing some weapons to Rhodey in them. I call it the ex-wife. but there's so many sequences I just didn't find interesting of him, especially him talking about a parrot to Whiplash for 5 minutes. Again, the character was pretty cool and interesting, but is completely wasted by the final act. At number 14 is the new villains, all 5 of them, the Black Order from Avengers Infinity War. The Black Order, these villains are really cool, all 5 of them. I'm not going to say all of them because I don't know all of them, but all 5 of them are really cool. They have their great battle sequences, they're children to Thanos, and many of their sequences in the movie were badass. The reason why they're this low on the list is because they're not really in it a lot, and that's why I like villains that are in movies more. Coming in at number 13 is Obadiah Stane, Jeff Bridges in the original Iron Man. This is a very generic villain to me. I didn't flat out love it, but Jeff Bridges, he does great acting in it. When he becomes the Ironmonger, I just didn't give a shit. But the Obadiah Stane character is really cool. Just the Ironmonger stuff really disappointed me. Coming in at number 12 is the Abomination from Incredible Hulk. I love Tim Roth in this role. There's so many things you could do with this character. He could come back in the future. Angry guy who wants to become like similar to the Hulk, except bigger and more disgusting looking. The Abomination fight with the Hulk is badass. And this character had some really cool parts to it. So I really enjoyed Abomination, but just the generic stuff, why he isn't in the top 10. Coming in at number 11 is Ego the Living Planet from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, I really love Kurt Russell in this role. There's some cool sequences with this villain indeed. Some parts to his character were boring. He's Star-Lord's father. He freaking killed Star-Lord's mother, put the tumor in her head, and he's just an insane villain that's killed many of his children in the past, and Star-Lord just needs to kill him because this guy's gonna wreck things up. And Kurt Russell is very charismatic in the role. Now we're in the top 10 list, guys. At my number 10 is Ultron from Avengers Age of Ultron, voiced by James Spader. When we first saw that teaser trailer for Age of Ultron, this was the Darth Vader for the MCU. I mean, this villain looked menacing as hell, and he really wasn't. He was a very jokey villain like Iron Man, and that's what really disappointed me. I wanted a serious, straight-up villain, and this is just a jokey villain, but I really liked Ultron in some scenes. He's not a bad villain at all. I enjoyed him. I just wanted him more menacing. At the number 9 spot is Red Skull from Captain America the First Avenger, played by Hugo Weaving. Hugo Weaving really did a great job in this role. Red Skull's very menacing indeed. I really liked his origin story, how he became evil, and just some parts, gaining the Tesseract. But the reason why he's at number 9, there are 8 villains that are more better and memorable than this. With the Red Skull, they really didn't mention him after First Avenger, but really, Hugo Weaving was great in the role, so he comes in at number 9. At number 8 is Hela from Thor Ragnarok, played by Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett, awesome as Hela, and spoiler alert, if you didn't know, she's Thor's sister and Loki's sister as well. Hela, really intimidating villain. Cate Blanchett, very sexy and attractive. So many parts to the movie where she's very menacing indeed. She does give some funny lines too in the movie, so Hela, awesome villain. At number 7 is Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier in Captain America the Winter Soldier. Sebastian Stan is freaking awesome in the Winter Soldier, so badass. Once you find out his backstory, and finding out he's Bucky Barnes is such a great plot twist. And this villain is reckless. His fight scenes with Cap is so well choreographed and intense, and the final scene with Winter Soldier. But the reason why he's at number 7 is because Bucky becomes an anti-hero, so that's why he's there. Awesome villain, though, in Winter Soldier. At number 6 is the main villain in Captain America the Winter Soldier, Alexander Pierce, and that is played by Robert Redford. This villain is evil. This guy, for 70 years, has infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., being the leader of Hydra. Robert Redford nailed this role. He's one of the best villains in the MCU. He's not one of those villains that fights. He does it from the mind, and that's what's so intimidating about Alexander Pierce. Now we're in the top 5. These 5 villains are the best of the best. Coming in at number 5 is the most underrated MCU villain in my opinion, Zemo from Captain America Civil War, played by Daniel Bruhl. His plan works. If you saw Civil War, he completely split up the Avengers. Cap and Iron Man made them fight against each other and just completed his plan. The Avengers are separated, and Zemo, he's a very smart villain indeed, very intellectual. And Daniel Bruhl, he was great in this movie. And my favorite scene of him is his monologue with him talking with Black Panther. It's one of the best scenes in the movie. At number 4 is the Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming, played by Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton freaking nailed the role of the Vulture. He honestly is the best part of Spider-Man Homecoming. He saved it for me. He's another villain that's very human. He lost his job, and so he turns evil, wants to steal alien technology, and fight against Spider-Man as well. And this guy has a family. You find out he's Liz's father. Liz, the girl that Peter has a crush on. And that's the best part of this movie, the riff with Vulture and Spider-Man. Michael Keaton, he's so menacing in this role and badass. At number 3 is the villain we've all come to love since the first Thor movie in 2011. That is Loki himself. Tom Hiddleston in Thor, the Avengers, etc., etc. Loki, awesome villain right here. Tom Hiddleston, so layered, so unpredictable, and just menacing. I love Loki, such a lovable character. When he's a villain, he's freaking awesome in the Avengers. But when he's an anti-hero, that's the reason why he isn't at 2 and 1. Comes an anti-hero in Thor Ragnarok. Just his relationship with Thor, lovable and hateable. At number 2, these two villains are the best that we've seen in the MCU. Number 2 is Killmonger from Black Panther, played by Michael B. Jordan. When we first saw this villain, I was just really into this villain. This guy, Killmonger, is very menacing indeed, but he's very understandable. You understand why this character is like this. King T'Chaka killed his father and he left him in Oakland. That was just a very interesting backstory. And how Killmonger, he just wants power. He wants Wakanda to share the world and their weapons. And just the sequences of this character is very interesting. Killmonger is very intimidating as well as very intellectual. Were you guys honestly surprised what my number 1 is? My number 1 is Thanos from Avengers Infinity War. No surprises here. Thanos is, like I said in my review, the best comic book villain of all time, over Heath Ledger's Joker. How scary he is, how menacing he is, and how compelling he is. Compelling is the biggest thing. Thanos, just his family life with Gamora and Nebula, and why he wants to take over the universe. It's just so amazing. All his scenes in Infinity War were amazing, and that's why Thanos is easily the best MCU villain, in my opinion. There you have it, guys. That was my ranking of all 22 of the main villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now the question is, what are your guys' rankings? Do you agree with my rankings? If you don't agree with them, let me know your list down below in the comments section. Thank you guys as always for watching this ranking, and if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. Click that notification bell on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!